want to start making Satisfactory episodes again. The only problem with that is that the last episode I made was 3 months and over 400 in-game hours ago, so if I was to just start dropping episodes, I feel like people would be like, what the hell? Where did I get here? Where's the missing link? There's missing link. Anyway, to solve that problem, this video is basically just going to go back over everything that we've done in the last 400 hours and show it off. I did actually stream it all, so if you want to watch it, then the playlist is around here somewhere, probably in the description. But trust me, this is going to be quicker and cooler. Anyway, let's get into it. But alright, so this is the main base area, as a lot of people know. But it hasn't always looked like this, so we're going to start at a different point. We're going to go all the way back. We're going back in time. So the last time we made an episode would have been about here, Christmas. Let's see what this is. So this is going all the way back to our wars at like 50 hours of progress? So this is 400 hours ago. Going back in time quite a fair way. Merry Christmas! Alright, so by the look of it, I hadn't pulled down the Christmas factory yet. Oh, what a lovely place this is. Oh, and we're on a parachute. We don't have... Jesus Christ, that one's doing great. Okay, so we were just about to unlock industrial manufacturing, which I believe is just before trains. Alright, so trains would have been like the next thing we unlocked at this time. Petroleum power was already a thing, and we already had the oil and the oil processing. Alright, so that was already a thing. So there is a good chance that we do have a plastic factory already made, which is probably a good point to go back in time for. So this is the original base. We're standing in the same spot that we were standing before I went back in time. This was the base, before I decided to tear it all down and make it into a giant circle. So this was at the point in my gameplay where I sort of assumed everything would be built here. There aren't many external places. So, what else do we have? Let's take the tractor. Oh, it's been a while since we've driven a tractor around. Hell yeah. Oh, we have a car! Anyway, let's head back over to the rubber factory and see what that looked like before the time jump. So, the rubber factory was the first thing that I made after I'd stopped making YouTube videos for Satisfactory. So, I think everything else is documented. We have the coal factory over here, which no longer exists. This has been replaced with a single golden coal generator. We even expanded this place a little bit further, I believe. I don't think this was as big as it got. Oh my god, and here's the rubber factory. Not even decorated. My god. So I'm guessing this is where we're making some of the fuel. Wonderful. Wonder fuel. Alright, so where else do we need to see? There's not a whole lot to back in time here. We have the rubber factory, we have the main base, and we have... Oh, I think the original steel factory is actually the other thing that we probably would have gotten done by now. Yeah, of course. So if we head out this way, this is one of the things that have stayed pretty consistent throughout the years. So we haven't been playing that long. I think the only thing that's happened is we might have rebuilt it a couple times to upgrade it. Oh. Though that thing isn't there anymore. We don't transport it back with a car anymore. We now have trains. At this point in the game, we were very close to unlocking them. And as soon as I did, I was quite obsessed with going around and making everything, putting trains everywhere. Alright, so I kind of just skipped over the steel factory a little bit there. I was kind of distracted talking about trains or something, I guess. I don't know. But here's a little clip. Here's what it looks like on the top floor. It's basically just foundries, just steel. We combine the coal and the iron and we make steel. That's about it. Anyway, back to the video. So that was the steel factory there that we just went past. Right now we're heading towards the coal factory, or not the coal factory, just a coal outpost where we will source some of the coal. Look at that, one of the few places that I actually kind of tried to decorate. And as it stands today, it definitely has that shape still. And one of our first sort of architectural builds, the bridge. The bridge to heaven. But yeah, that's about it for this point in time. So this was about 50 hours in. Let's jump forward to about 150, eh? And see what we're doing there. Couldn't have been much more. I think at this point we're going around basically trying to replace the current infrastructure with trains. Oh, never mind, we've got a circle. So I decided that I didn't like the base as it was, and I wanted something a little more special. So a lot of this is changed, but a lot of this is also still the same. So this is the first ring of the main base, where it's the stairs up to the top. We haven't got the pillars up yet. We haven't expanded the awning out and over the top. And I don't think there's going to be too much more here. Most things are disconnected at this point. Most things don't work. So all of our original assemblers are up here and no longer hooked up, and no longer connected. All of those need to be rerouted. A lot of them are now, we've decided that we were doing essential storage, which I stand by. I stand by this idea. It is kind of redundant by now that we've got dimensional depots, which we had at the time here. I just hadn't unlocked them. But I stand by this. I do love my central storage. It's really cool. This is more or less the final look of it as well. I don't think I did too much more in here. I think at this point the rubber factory would have obviously been completed. So let's go check out the rubber factory. See how that turned out. The rubber and plastic factory. It was the first building that we actually fully encapsulated. I think it was the first. I don't know. It was either that or the steel factory. But look at that. It has 4 walls and a roof. That's not something we've done a lot at this point. Oh, well, I guess I didn't finish the roof. But, you know, you get the point. I did try. I think I did do more work on it. I definitely did complete the roof. At some point. Maybe. Or maybe it wasn't there when I tore the place down. Who knows? Fast forward to current day, this isn't here. This rubber factory is gone. We have replaced it with a bigger and better one. And also, how did I not get that slug? I built right there and didn't get that slug. Lazy. Lazy. So yeah, like I said, by this point, we had decided to rebuild the base, basically. Which put almost all progression on hold. You can't continue in the game when you break everything you've already built, you know? It's really hard to continue. So currently none of these are hooked up. I don't think really anything's going to main storage correctly besides a few things. Yeah, we got the copper going up to main storage and a few iron things going up, but, you know, clearly a lot to go still here. And I don't think there are any real auxiliary factories. Oh, look at that. We've already got the 000 dismantle crate. Fun. Alright, let's go forward in time a little bit further. So that was 150 hours. What are we looking like 250 hours in? So we should still have been working on the base, I'd imagine. Oh, no, we've definitely moved on. So we've gotten trains at this point. We've unlocked trains. We've gotten this is a little quartz corner, as I've been calling it. Nice little nook down the bottom there where we process a few little shitty impure quartz nodes. And all of these trains are now starting to get wired up. So the base itself has expanded. We've added a couple of rings to it. I don't have a jetpack in my inventory. Damn it. Give me a second. I don't think I have the hover pack yet either. So we're just parachuting around. I endured that way too long. It was Valius that finally got me to do it. After a few attempts of coming in and being, I'll be honest, he'll probably be honest too. He was a bit of a dick about it. But he was right. It was worth it. So, like I was saying, the ring has expanded out now. This is slightly different. We did change these. If you remember from the last 100 hours, these were slightly shallower. The angle came out a bit further. But I didn't like that for some reason or another. So, we modified it. We changed it. It's better now. Alright, we've got the awning up and above. That is basically how it stands today. And this is the initial ring. This is the first rendition of the train yard. The train ring. Which the only 2 stations are on the other side over here. See, yeah, fuel unloading, steel unloading. The priority at this point was to get everything that we already had working, get it to a point where we could bring it back with trains. Start to phase out the trucks and the tractors, which still haven't been phased out over at the rubber factory yet, and start to phase in the trains. Which, if we look at this map in modern day, in current day, there is a lot more trains on the map. One thing I've noticed is at this point in time, we had made the fuel factory. So let's go check that out. So we got to a point where the coal factory sadly wasn't enough. We haven't retired the coal factory, it's still over here. We got the coal power plant there. But we did need more power. And once we unlocked fuel generation, we made use of it. So let's go see what that looks like. But alright, so over to the fuel factory. Which again, at this point, we were working quite thoroughly. So, as you can see with our base here, we were trying to make things look good. We were trying to make things special. I didn't want anything to be plain, you know? I don't know, I wanted it to be nicer. I just wanted to do that extra mile to get it to be a little bit nicer. And I think we did that with the fuel factory. Actually, at this point in time, the fuel factory is by far my nicest build. And here is the fuel factory. Another building I'm very, very proud of. It is truly one of the best things I've ever made. Even to this day, it still stands up. Oh, we got the umbrellas. I forgot about the umbrellas. Aren't they amazing? So this is when I started trying to add smaller detail that just didn't necessarily need to be there. That just added personality. So the little picnic tables, little picnic umbrella tables, they're a little bit, you know, off-scaled. You'd be pretty tall to eat at this table, but, you know, from a distance, we got like little umbrellas. They're really nice. I'm very, very happy with these. So if we go in the the fuel factory, we lit it up. And, the sad thing about lighting means that the game doesn't really run amazingly. It just has a real hard time getting around this factory. But I think this is taking roughly 1,200 oil and turning it into as much fuel as I can. I'm not sure how much. It's a decent amount. But we're doing it this way. So at this point in time, I hadn't discovered the fuel loop, the ability to double the amount of... So I could be getting 120 for every 60 heavy oil residue. I didn't know that the fuel loop existed. While this building is beautiful and laggy, it definitely had room for improvement. But what else? So I think that's it. I think that's more or less everything that I've built in the last 100 hours here. Mostly focused on rewiring the trains. And, yeah, clearly I needed more power at some point. So this fuel factory generates 30,000 megawatts per minute. Or 30,000 megawatts. Which is pretty damn good. For what I needed at the time, it's, quite good. Though it does... Oh, Jesus. Okay, turns out it needed some work at this point in time. Ignore all of that. Jesus Christ. Clearly I messed something up. I will eventually fix that. And by will, I mean I have fixed it in the past. I will in this point. Never mind. Alright, on to the next 100 hours. Destroying the... See, this is where I started labeling. Ooh, we've done a lot up here. Alright, so this is where we've rerouted the copper sheets. We've rerouted cable. So let's go to the 350 hours and let us go around and have a bit of a tour. So this is actually as far as we need to go. Everything beyond this point, I have footage for and will be able to make episodes out of it. So let's go to about here. About here somewhere. We have a lot to look around at this point, so in that previous 100 hours, we weren't doing a lot. We were mainly rerouting and refitting and rejigging stuff that we had already done. So, the rubber factory that once existed here, gone. The coal factory that once existed over there, gone. Killed it, dead. Murdered. It was a fatality like in Mortal Kombat. It was crazy. Should have seen it. Luckily we skipped over it. It's too graphic for YouTube. That's a really good placement. Clearly I did that with a purpose. Shut up. So, in the last 100 hours, we were continuing to take out parts of the original base. We were still replacing bits. There was parts over here. There were assemblers laying around that still needed to be moved. They're gone now. And we now have production on the bottom floor. So, this here, no idea what it does. Oh, That was my failed iron pipes that I never ended up using. Because I realized that the recipe was actually shite. So, now we got the concrete set up here. We've got rejigged the copper set up under here. Everything around the base is now exactly as it should be. And more or less exactly as it stands today. I haven't done a whole lot of work on the base in recent time. But this is all lovely. We still don't have a hover pack or a jetpack by the... Well, I do have a jetpack. Oh, I do have a hover pack. Beautiful. Look at me. Apparently Valius has got to me at this point and we can fly. So, central storage has obviously started to fill out. We have reinforced irons, all the things around here. Jeez, we even have quick wire. It's actually really starting to fill out. We even have computers. God, oh, there's lots to show at this point. Alright, so the ring as we knew it with the assemblers is now complete and in use. The train ring also in use. And wow, instead of the 2 that were here before, I think we have 5. 2 there, 1, 2, 3. Wow, only 5 trains at this point. The exciting part though is over in this direction. So, in the last 100 hours we were quite busy. So we realized that the copper processing at the main base here was limited. There was only one node. It was a pure node, but it's only one node, you know? I wanted to do something a little more efficient, and I like the idea of only having one product being made off a node. So, if we continue in this direction, hang on, let's just parachute over. So this is the copper sheet factory. This train station here and the other one all the way down the end there are literally just 2 impure copper nodes. Really bad. But they bring all their copper over to here. Into this little hidden factory under the cliff here, which I love. Which makes copper sheets. That's all it does. So the train comes in here, pulls in, unloads its copper ore. And then this gets put into both alternate recipes. So we have the pure copper ingot recipe, where we're over doubling the amount of copper ore into ingots, which is very good for a refinement step. And then those get steamed into the steamed copper sheets, where it's a 1-to-1 transition from all the copper to copper sheets, which is pretty damn good. I don't know if I've got it written down around here anywhere, but I think it's something like 1700 copper per minute, or copper sheets per minute. It's very good. Very good for what we had at the time, at least, you know? The next stop, I think, is going to be this Caterium cable oil over here. So we're going to go see the other side of the copper. So the copper node at the base was the original copper node. It was the pure copper node that we've turned, I think, exclusively into wire? I would guess wire, since this is copper sheet, and I know that I have copper cables being made off a single, I think, normal Caterium node, which makes, again, way too many. Caterium makes wire and cable so damn well. So let's head over there. I am on the wrong side of the road. My bad. I'm sorry, train. You gotta stop. I didn't mean to do that. My bad. I didn't realize that that looped over itself. Look, it's been a minute since I've been on this specific train track, alright? Oh, and my computer train is stuck. Currently. Look, I'll fix that in the future. Just pretend I do, alright? I've already fixed it. Yeah, I didn't really decorate the trains that much. I am looking forward to 1.1, where I think these sort of train tracks will be really nice. I'll be able to make some really cool shit out of them, and it's quite exciting. And here it is. This is the Caterium cable factory, and ain't it a thing? This factory just makes cable, and it makes way too many. So I don't think I can even transport all of them back. And at this point in the game, I don't think I can even actually keep them all on belts. So this is all coming off a single Caterium node right here. It's only a normal node. So all that Caterium gets turned into pure Caterium. So only a half, which is still pretty good for Caterium ore. It doesn't like smelting down. So regular recipe is 3-to-1, pure 2-to-1, tempered also 2-to-1. So 2-to-1 is about as good as you can get. I don't know what these 3 recipes are. Haven't got them yet. Maybe I have in the future. Couldn't tell you what they are now because I can't see them. So, all that Caterium gets turned into wire, which is over here. Sorry, my bad. All that Caterium gets turned into wire. All that wire comes over here to be turned into cable with the heavy oil residue. The heavy oil residue is coming from a little oil outpost over... Alright. Over there. That long-ass orange pipe right there. That's a scar on the landscape. And then that makes me shit tons of cable. Way, way, way too much cable. But it's beautiful. So that's the Caterium cable factory. That's how we're turning one single Caterium node into more cable than I could possibly use. At this point in the game, at least. And we're off again, out to the computer factory. So this, at this time in the game, this is the biggest, most complicated factory I've built. And I'm pretty sure it's done. Now, it's an interesting build technique where I've maxed out most of the nodes that contribute to the end factory, but most of the machines, I'll be able to illustrate it a bit better when I get here. It's a weird factory the way I've done this. I really should have incorporated more awesome sinks, honestly. So like up the top there. So this is just being crafted into, that Caterium's just being crafted into quick wire, being fed into the computers. And if we go up to the quick wire up here, we're making more than we're using. We're doing that everywhere on this because we just maxed out the Caterium node. I didn't want to limit myself to whatever like predetermined amount of computers that I thought I could make. So I just maxed out each node and then made the maximum amount of computers for the weakest link in those node setups, basically. If we go down to, say, where's this one? What's this one making? You're making a bunch of pure copper being turned into copper sheets, and these copper sheets are being taken over here to be turned into circuit boards, correct? Yes, they're being combined with silica to make circuit boards. Again, no sign. Oh, there's a sign! I did it! Look at me. So, we're making 750 copper sheets and using 742. So all of this is mapped out, apparently, except for the Caterium. I don't know how I missed that, but everything else seems to be mapped out. So the silica, again, making 1400 using 740. But yeah, I think this makes me 75 computers per minute. 10 times 2, 20 times 3.75. 75, I was right. We're making 75 computers per minute. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, and this is fun. This is our only fluid train on the entire map. Every other train just carries items. This one actually has fluid, and it just carries crude oil up to make the rubber down here. So in order to actually get enough oil around here to make the rubber, we had to source some from over here and take the rest from the Caterium cable that we weren't using. So we have this train that goes all the way around here, all the way around, and just brings brings oil, which is beautiful. And then we have quartz coming from out here to make that silica, concrete again. So I think that's about it. What else are we missing? So we've got the computer factory at this point. We've got the Caterium cable factory. We have the fuel factory covered. We have the copper sheet factory covered. We have steel factory, still as it stands and as it stood. And the base has evolved a little bit more as well. Alright, so I think now we could basically fast forward to current day, where I can't show you anything because I've got it all ready to go. It's all ready to go. So the rubber factory and the fuel factory, all of this is a tease for the episodes to come. I do have the footage, I just need to edit it. Editing's hard, alright? Anyone want to be my editor for free? If I ever get paid, I'll give you a share of the revenue the video makes. I'll give you like 30% or like 40% or something. That'd actually be sick. I really need an editor. That would be great. I can't pay you though, I'm broke. No one makes money in this world except for Jeff Bezos, that motherfucker. Alright, so this is the fuel factory that we're currently working on. That previous one made 350,000. This one is going to make 85,000. We also now have a map covered in ore. Hide that shit. Lots more has been done. So the base has obviously evolved since then. Actually, no, it hasn't really. I've just sort of added more train stations. It looks like it's evolved on the map. I think I just added more train stations. What else have we done? We've got an explosives factory over here. Spoilers for a future episode. The rubber factory, better. This thing here is like... What's that? What are we looking at here? That's an aluminium factory up there. Oh, we've done a lot. This up here, heavy modular frame factory that doesn't exist yet, but my god, it's going to, and it's going to be beautiful. I have plans for this corner. This whole corner of the map. One factory, it's going to be beautiful. I don't think I can afford the slogs for it, so we're going to be making a lot of machines. Life's a bitch. Yeah. I think that's about it. I think that's the tour. Everything else on the tour is a spoiler. And I don't want to show you it because yeah. We'll get there eventually. Well, I don't want to show you it by you as in the video I make out of this stream highlight thing here. But the people watching the stream, this is it. We're going to continue on from here because that's what live is. We're going to continue from here.